Hello, my name is Matthew Vargas. I am president and founder of WarpMeta, a place where amateur players can become similar to professional players in gaming. So I want to tell a story about my youth when I played basketball. When I was growing up, I would compete in just about every competitive level possible. I played in the AAU youth leagues, and then I eventually played in varsity sports, and I did get into some college basketball. We had a lot of organized structures. We had equipment and uniforms. We would have competitions set out for us and schedules. And finally, we would win awards when we ended up having success in these events, leagues, or tournaments. Unfortunately, my competitive dream of basketball ended when I didn't get drafted to the NBA, surprisingly. So, as such, I was sort of left with this hole in my competitive life of basketball. And that's where, after several years of playing pickup with people, I had some of the players who I routinely competed with ask me to participate in the rec league. Now, these rec leagues for basketball happen on the local level right now, and they're quite organized, kind of similar to varsity basketball. You have the similar structure, you compete, you have venues, you have uniforms, and you do win when you end up having success in winning it all. However, as a gamer as well, it was hard to find this kind of organized structure consistently. So that's where WarpMeta comes in. WarpMeta is a platform that allows amateur players and teams that aren't professionals to compete in organized leagues and tournaments, and they can do all that against other teams online for real prizes and payouts. So how does it work? Well, we recruit these players through gaming communities such as Reddit, through our own Discord community, which we set up, as well as our website. We then funnel those players into our tournaments and leagues, which are coming soon, and we engage them in competition. We set up all the events, we organize, and then we produce all the events on websites such as Twitch and YouTube so that their fans or whatnot can watch them participate. Now, over the past few months, with very little resources behind us, we've managed to accumulate about 32,000 page views across 4,000 sessions and 1.3 thousand users. And these users are navigating the site heavily, going through 8 pages per session. Now, we've also accumulated about 20 plus teams to participate in our events, and those teams are helping us generate buzz within the gaming community with every event that we run. Now, our competition, I think we can categorize by type. So we have community leagues, which have communities of volunteers, people who end up spending their time on the side from work, helping organize these events. And these events do have upwards of $1,000 in prize pools, and they also manage to have some competition that's consistent, 8 to 30 teams per event, we find. Unfortunately, for these communities, they're really only supporting only one title. For example, Overwatch, the title that we run, that community only really supports that game. If we end up expanding onto multiple titles, you'll find a similar trend is happening. So there really isn't a platform that's got all of the game titles and has sort of those search engine tools onto its platform. You also have pro leagues, which for obvious reasons only have a select group of players and teams participating, and they do have huge prize pools, but that's not a market that we target because we would rather target the larger audience of the over 200 million gamers you saw previously. We also have wagering sites which attract individual competition of head-to-head matchups, kind of similar to daily fantasy in a way, but unfortunately it's hard for organized teams to compete, and you're also not seeing any production behind it, so it's hard for their fans and friends to watch them compete. And finally, we have tournament management platforms, which are toolkits for organizers to use if they want to host their own event, but it also requires those third-party organizers to manage, produce, pretty much do all the heavy lifting of those events. And coming from somebody who does that pretty much every weekend, it's a lot of work and a lot to expect somebody to do on their off hours. So a platform like WarpMeta can really take in all these positive aspects of the community and really add some unique special features on top of it. We hope to be able to release organized, produced features and a platform that players and teams can search through to find multiple game titles and the right tournament for them to compete in. And we'll do all this through our management solutions. So our team comes from separate different backgrounds. Myself, I've been involved with the gaming and esports community for over 3 years now. My expertise specifically before was in statistics and data. And I also have worked with professional teams in the esports space, so I have an understanding of kind of what they're looking for in tournaments and what they're looking for in the future. Our tournament head, Jesse, has been involved for over 4 years now, and he's going to be helping us as we move forward, adding more leagues and tournaments. Steve's the man behind the website and is an advisor. He runs TechRX and has been a mentor for us since the beginning. Frank as well is one of our advisors and a lawyer. And finally, we have our production team, which is comprised of all of our casters who help us produce these events. Well, our revenue model will be coming from supplying data to these teams and players that we'll pull from the developers. And this is quite important for them so they can see their success through our tournaments. We'll also manage to get sponsorships and ad revenue for the website and when we produce the events. We already have one partner in Exola Esports Academy, which is a company that supplies coaching to gamers. We're looking to raise a seed round of capital to grow our user base, increase marketing, as well as increase our events and tournaments in the future. And I'd like to leave you with this before I end. It's that the mediums and places where competition is happening are changing. And so WarpMeta is hoping to, and our goal is hoping to change that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Matthew.